All right, so today, arms, biceps, triceps. Typically I'll do biceps first, then triceps, which is what I'm gonna do today. But there's times I'll switch it around. Triceps, it's a bigger muscle group, so if it's like muscle size that you want, it makes sense to start on the bigger, heavier tricep exercises with the bigger muscle. But let's split it up this way. Biceps first, we'll do a little warm up, get some stretch. First one, I wanna do a big compound exercise like a barbell curl. So we'll start with barbell, bread and butter, just big, heavy, fundamental muscle building exercise. From here, I wanna start to kind of isolate and really get down on some of those muscle heads working around the insertion, the origin. This is kind of our shape exercises. So from having done our barbell curls, we'll move on to something isolated, a preacher curl. 3 or 4 exercises. I like high volume when it comes to training. So, we're gonna do a lot of exercises, 4, even 5 sets each. We've got barbell curls, preacher curl, might do a cable or a single dumbbell. I think something like a hammer curl. Add a variation into one of the angles. And I'll do, like I said, 3, 4 sets of about 10 to 12 reps each. So all of these are gonna be the same. Rep range, we want to be lifting as heavy as we can, up to about 12 reps. If I'm getting 13, 14, 15 reps, it means I can go heavier. But if I'm falling below the 10 reps, then really the weight's too heavy and I need to lower that to be able to get that contraction and really get the muscle working optimally rather than trying to strain it with too much weight. So that's what our biceps look like. Triceps, probably start off on something big. Arms are already warmed up, so some skull crushers or French extensions. So we're doing easy bar, skull crusher. I think that's one of the best for muscle building in the arms. It's a big compound exercise where we can move a lot of weight and it really works that tricep head to its full range of motion. From there, we'll go on and do something like a tricep press down, a cable-based movement. So let's add that in there. It's the classic exercise, does the job. And then the third one, this is sort of a forgotten, underestimated exercise, tricep dips, kickbacks. I mean, they still work the tricep in a very different way than we do with these big, heavier weights. So I don't normally do circuits, but let's add one in here. We'll do dips into a kickback. We'll do maybe 3, 4 sets. 10 to 12 reps. And the goal with this is to really pyramid the weight up. So set 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Start off about 12 reps and then we're gonna get closer to 10 as we get heavier. And this is really the goal of weight training. We wanna overload and stress the muscle out within all of these exercises, working the muscle from different angles, using free weights, cables, all of these different types of stress that we can place on the muscle so that at the end of the workout, our muscles then have to overcome this, come back a little bit stronger, a little bit more conditioned and capable so that we can keep pushing the weight up. And that is really hypertrophy in a nutshell. You want bigger, stronger muscles, you've got to train them, you've got to lift with heavy weights, but you've got to do it in a smart way. And that's hopefully what this workout entails. Speaking of which, let's get started. We'll do a warm up and then jump right into our first working set of barbell curls. You just want to take the muscle through a full range of motion in a sort of a dynamic way, not going too heavy. That's the thing, you got to warm the muscle up, warm the joints up mentally as well. You got to prepare your mindset for what's to come. You're going to be lifting some heavy weights. You don't want to jump in there right at the beginning and start trying to lift the heaviest weight you can. Think of it like driving a car and trying to get as fast as you can. You've got to go through the gears. You've got to change gear each time you go up through the revs, and that's what we're doing. Warming up the muscle, getting ready for that top gear with the heaviest weight. Not too worried about reps or sets for my warm-up. It's just until I feel good. We think about warming up the biceps and triceps, but think about the wrists as well. On some of those bigger, heavier exercises, wrists take a lot of stress as well. Just want to mobilize the wrists here as well. Yeah, good stretch for the bicep too. Take the hand, rotate, plant it down, and then you lightly press down as you start to sit back or stand back. You get this really good fascia stretch here across the forearm, the bicep. Just kind of easily pressing that palm down. Sometimes I'll stretch after a set. I want to make sure I feel ready before I start lifting the heavier weight. I don't spend too long stretching. Static stretching I do more after the workout, once the muscles are having been strained and they have all the blood flow in them. It's a good flushing exercise as well. So we'll do some more focused stretching after. Let's do one more warm-up set here. I think a lot of it comes down to just how you feel. If you feel tight, if you're training chest or back or legs and you feel like you want to give them a bit of a stretch during the workout, do so. Yeah, that's the thing I like about exercise. It's kind of, it's your own journey to explore, you know? Okay, so look, full rotation. It's a great exercise to finish off too. Rotate the knuckles in, get a really good stretch in the forearm and in the bicep. Bicep being two muscle heads, so we've got to remember that when we train. It's not just one big muscle, there's two different heads to it. My tempo tends to stay the same as well. I don't really like fast reps or going too slow. And at the end of the day, muscle doesn't really know, I think, the amount of weight you're lifting. It knows the stress that we're placing upon it. So as long as we gradually get it up to a point where we can manage that maximum weight, you want to do that pretty quickly. You don't want to kind of delay the workout too long because you start to waste energy as well. But like I said with the car, you want to get moving pretty quickly. So our first exercise, barbell curls. Now the reason I'm doing this for my first exercise comes down to this. We want to lift the maximum amount of weight within our 10 to 12 reps that the biceps can manage, using good form and good technique, of course. With a barbell and adding free weights on allows us to lift the heaviest weight compared to lifting dumbbells. You know, if I load up the barbell, I'm going to be able to move more weight on that than if I'm trying to lift dumbbells, which I'll use later on in the workout. Another point with this, easy bar. I mentioned that for one of the tricep exercises. I got an easy bar here. You can see it's curved. Different handle positions there and also there. That is great. It takes off some of that strain on the wrist, but because those handles are slightly angled, they change the emphasis on where and how much of the stress is being placed on the muscle. It might not be by much, but again, if I'm starting off and I want to kind of really focus on the most weight for the maximum gains, if you like, the barbell is king. So let's start off our warm-up. Nice firm grip, not too tight, elbows back. Now, I've learned over the years that I really just want to work the muscle in its main range of motion. What I mean by that is not needing to fully straighten the arm, not needing to get the bar all the way up here, because look, I relieve the muscle here. My forearms are pretty much supporting the weight. So biceps are fully engaged there, lengthened, shortened there, engaged. So you can see I'm not needing to go all the way down and all the way up. Yeah, that's a pretty good warm-up. First working set, 12, 15 reps. I'm gonna rest as long as I need before I feel I can go back and lift the same weight, if not heavier. If my rest periods are too short and I go and pick the same weight up and I'm getting 2 or 3 reps less, certainly at this point in the workout in the beginning, I'm probably lifting too heavy a weight or I'm not allowing enough rest time. We're kind of prescribed during much of this course material or learning 60 seconds, somewhere between 30 to 60 or 90. I find it's not as rigid as that. Squats, for example, when I've got the big weights on the barbell, a lot of weight that I'm using, my body is having to exert a lot of energy. I might need 2 or 3 minutes before I feel well rested enough, recovered, to at least go back and do that same weight. Arms, the smaller muscle group, minute maybe at most. Again, one of those things that you kind of just gotta get a feel for it. If you're waiting 2 or 3 minutes, it's probably too long for an exercise like this. But 20, 30 seconds again, I don't think that gives you enough time to really recover in the muscle. The muscle have, think of it like little motor units in the muscle, which is what they actually have. And when they get depleted of their energy, ultimately muscle failure or fatigue rather, we need to give, I'd say a minimum 30, 40 seconds to get enough energy back into those little motor cells to be able to then allow us to go back and do that same stress. And the goal is that we're trying to constantly one-up ourselves. Hence why we're not just doing the same weight for 3 or 4 sets for 10 reps, we're adding more weight on each set. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there now. It's funny, I've been doing these videos for a number of years now. And people will comment, oh, but your form, your technique, you're moving too much. And I say this, if we're training someone new to the gym, you want them to do everything right. You want them to be strict and you want their form to be proper. When you're working with increasingly heavier weights, and you've been doing this for a while, you know where your limits are. You're gonna have a bit of momentum, a bit of sway. You're gonna be cheating the rep or the form a little bit. But I know that I'm still really feeling it on my arms. I'm not doing all of this. I'm not throwing the weight up. There's a little bit of sway, a little bit of English, as some might say, in terms of that strictness. But don't be afraid of that. I'm gonna go heavier now. So that form that I always talk about, being so strict and proper technique, where we wanna stand there and do this, I can move a lot more weight if I do a little bit more of this and feel it on my arms than if I stay completely strict. So, listen to all of that with a grain of salt. Pay attention, but look at bodybuilders. When they train, they create some force. They are moving that weight. And as long as we're able to get between 10 and 12 reps with fairly good form, muscles are doing its job. So I'm adding, in terms of weight, I've added 2 10 pounds, so 20 pounds extra. This bar is about 35 pounds. We got 50. So 50 says 85 plus 20, we're about 120 pounds here. Which, as a percentage of my body weight is, I mean, I'm what, 172 pounds, so, you know, I don't know.
80% of your body?
Yeah, you know, getting 70-80% of my body weight just on my biceps. I'll say this before I get in with this. Don't think about the weight too much. The goal is to hit those 10 or 12 reps with as much weight as you can. Don't let your ego get in the way. You know, oh, I want 150 pounds, I want 2 45-pound plates on here. If you can't lift it, it's pointless, it's no good. Okay, we're getting there. Let's call this work in set 3. There's gonna be some movement in this. I was 12. Was my form super strict? Nah. You know, for whether you're a beginner or you've been weight training for a year or 2 or 10 years or more, at some point you've got to kind of feel where your stride is. You know, can I lift more weight? I can move it. Is it going to be more beneficial to add more weight? I don't know, probably not. So for my 4th set, which is like that overdrive gear in the car, I'm gonna do that same way. I'm already kind of at that top of my peak. 12 reps, that weight, probably the heaviest I can do with reasonable form. So my 4th set, my final exercise, working set on barbell curls, same weight. Look, if I can get close to 12 again, yeah, it's gonna be right there. This is where we talk about rest periods. You know, about a minute has gone. I don't feel rested enough to go back and be able to do that same weight with that same intensity. So I'm gonna rest a few more seconds. Don't rush yourself with these workouts. It's crazy, in recent years, social media, everyone's doing these quick workouts. Oh, 7-minute bicep workout, 20-minute to get in and get out. It's okay to spend an hour, hour and a half lifting weights. I mean, granted, I'm not here for like, 2 hours, 3 hours, just straight on lifting, but I want to take my time to allow myself to lift the heaviest weight and get adequate rest to be able to do myself justice for that next exercise, that next working set. You don't try and run up a mountain. You hike up, you walk up, you take little rests. It's about getting to the top, not how quickly you can make it up there. Same thing with these workouts. This is where mindset comes in now, that sort of self-belief. You gotta visualize. That's 6. Little rest pause. Let's see that one. What's next? Preacher curl. Whew. I'll tell you this, these workouts are very real. You're gonna see me reach muscle failure. You're gonna see my form start to break down. You're gonna see me really train. It's one thing to do everything perfect and try and get some great material out there, but at the end of the day, this is what I do. We all train in our own sort of way off camera, and it just so happens that we got the camera rolling with today's workout. Preacher curl next. Two ways that we could do this. One, take the bench up to an incline, stand behind, do a dumbbell curl. Single arm preacher curl. With this, we're isolating the arm, so we're taking away all the other muscle groups from enabling us to be able to do this, and we're really just focusing on the bicep, that one muscle to shorten and lengthen, hence an isolation exercise. Preacher curl is a great one for working the lower region down here, puts a lot of stress here. So we don't want to go too heavy, but again, a heavy enough weight where we can really curl it up. So right here. You can also see this really highlights the two muscle heads. You'll see when I've got weight on, but we've got the short head. You can see a little line there, separation. This muscle here has the long head. This fuller, fatter muscle that almost sits under. This one is the short head. It's the same muscle as one, but it's like a snake's tongue, kind of forks off. So one comes here, another one actually comes up here. So we've got these long kind of insertion into the full muscle belly, and then they kind of attach lower down here as well. So bench is one. The one I'm gonna do actually is a traditional preacher, which means I'm gonna get a bench, lock it in here, and work both arms together. Let's do that. This is a company called PowerTech. You can see all the machines. Really good sort of home workout, light commercial personal training studio. So all I'm gonna use is a cable here. Oh yeah. Really isolate those biceps. And again, add as much weight onto the lever arms as I can manage. Let's get some weight off here. Remember, 10, 12 reps, that's our goal. If I'm not able to do more than 10, or if I'm able to do quite a few more than 12, I need to adjust the weight. So the first exercise is always kind of finding where I am. Hence why I still write my workouts down in a journal, so I know what weight and how many reps I was able to do, so that this time round, I can push myself even more. You might notice that a lot of my workouts revolve around the same exercises. Oh, but shouldn't you be doing different exercises so that the muscle doesn't get used to doing that same movement? Maybe true, but really what I'm doing is doing the same core basic movements and just changing a few different factors. The handle, attachments, where my hand position are. There's subtle changes that go on in all of my workouts. That feels great. As long as we're taking the muscle through its full range of motion, shortening and lengthening. Even though we're working the same muscle in the same type of manner, you know, in the sense that we're curling something up, we're bringing the wrist up towards us and keeping the elbow locked in. Therefore, we're shortening and lengthening that muscle around the fulcrum, being the elbow. Two very different feelings. Free weight, barbell, you know, we've got to support the weight. We can cheat to a certain degree, but also look at the weight difference. I've got two 10 pounds here, so 20, 40 pounds in total. The barbell, you know, it was up to 120 something, 130 pounds. There's a big weight difference with the free weight compared to that of a machine. Hence why I use the free weight first. I warm up, get the muscles and the joints prepared, go heavy on the free weight barbell, reach failure, but I still want to push myself now that I'm starting to isolate and use machines and cables. I got 12 reps there. Let's add a small weight on. Don't be afraid of small poundages. I think all too often we get in our head, especially ego training with others. You know, we look at a weight like this. This is 2.5 pounds, 5 pounds total. And we might think, oh, let's put another 25 on there. Let's put a couple of 10s. Think of it in terms of percentages. If I've got 40 pounds on here and I'm adding another 25 or another 10, that's still 50% more. If you're failing with this weight and you add 50% more weight, are you really going to be able to do that much more benefit from it? No. 40, I've added 10, that's 25%. That's still quite a lot of extra weight to add on. Let's see how well I can do. 12 reps. That was 10. Little nuances start to come in now. So when my arm drops below this level, basically parallel to the floor, when it lengthens that bicep by too much, it's that much extra effort to then curl that weight up just to get it to that point. So even though I talk about a full range of motion, I don't literally mean gotta extend the arm flat and then curl it all the way up until your palm is back up by your shoulder. So if we look at this position, my bicep is pretty much fully lengthened there. Okay, and if I fully lengthen my arm, it's really lengthened, but it's that much of a strain to then get it back up to that position. What I'm talking about here is being smart with the training. Yes, I want to lift heavy weight, but if I'm always extending my arm down there to full lockout, it's that much of an effort to get it back up and start to use some momentum. So now I'm going to lower it down to about there, parallel with the floor. I'm lengthening the bicep, but I've still got sort of maximum strength from that point onwards to then curl it back up. And look, my elbows aren't lifting up. I'm not curling the bar all the way to my chin. I'm keeping the back of my arm flush against this pad and just getting as much movement as I can moving that weight. We're 2 sets in. I'm gonna do one more. I don't always have to do 4 sets on every exercise. That's my range. So same weight. Let's get our third one. Hammer curls. We're getting through this workout pretty quickly. I mean, I should have done it before. Like, my arms are pretty pumped, and that comes down to the blood getting into that muscle. It pulls up in that muscle, you know, and that's really what we talk about when we get this muscle pump. The pump is just the muscle's full of blood, and our goal is to get as much blood into that muscle as we're working the muscle and as we're taking it to failure on every exercise. Just because I got 10 reps on this last time doesn't mean I can't get 12 now. He says enthusiastically. Okay, it's game time. That is muscle failure. Oh. You gotta be okay with allowing yourself to reach failure. I mean, ultimately that's the name of the game. So that last rep where I probably went down a little bit too low, I dropped my forearm a bit too low, which meant it was that much more of a strain to get it back up. I got to here and I just couldn't curl it up anymore. It's the end of that set. Even if I had a few more left to give, I don't want to waste all of my effort trying to break it past that sticking point. drop the weight, either lower it, give yourself 20, 30 seconds rest, and get back on with it. For me, we are done. Preacher curl. Whew. That was a good one. Final one for biceps. Feeling pretty pumped already. Hammer curls, just variation. Hammer, I'm gonna do these seated. Strictness, you know, at the end of that workout, this is exercise number 3. I'm not gonna be moving as much weight as I could in the beginning. I've already done that with those barbell curls and isolation with the preacher curl. So now I wanna keep it really strict and work with a different hand position. I mentioned before, palms forwards, we get maximum weight. Overhand stuff is great for working the forearm. This neutral, where our palms are facing each other. You can see there, if I really squeeze, we kind of pop this muscle out there, which is part of the bicep, it's that long head. So all of these different methods in which we're working the muscle from different angles. I still want to go heavy. Not too heavy. Let's go with these, 35 pounds. So with this one, I am fully lengthening the bicep. My arms go all the way down. And that's really because I'm not supporting the arms. I'm not isolating them in the same way as I was with the last exercise. That's 12. Go a little bit heavier. Thing about dumbbells is the increments at which they go up. This is 35. The next increment up is going to be a 40. So it's 5 pounds heavier, 10 pounds in total. We're not able to make those small increments like we can with plates. We can add 1.1, 2.5 pounds on, small increments. But with dumbbells, they're bigger jumps. So if I jump up to 40, which I will, let's see how many reps we can get out if we get close to 10 or 12. But good, great exercise. I want to show you this. I've had this for years. This is by a company called Ivanko. It's called a super gripper, and you grip it like this. And so what it does is it really allows you to work the forearm, your grip strength as well. I may not include this within the workout, but I do it. I'll do it during like a forearm workout, which like calves or abs is added on with another muscle group. So I might train abs and forearms one day. Or on a day that I'm not really hitting a big body part, I might do cardio, hit some calves and abs, or hit some abs and some forearm work. So it's more like ancillary work, but you know, pretty cool. You can adjust all the springs to really make it, you know, a lot of pressure, resistance needed. But you can get this online. Worth having, worth having. I always find it interesting when people say, oh, but you've been lifting weights for so long. Doesn't it get any easier? It shouldn't. That's the name of the game. If it's easy, what does your body have to overcome? Think of it like this. If you want to change your body, you need to give it some sort of stimulus for it to change, adapt to. Change and adapt results in change to the body. So if you're lifting the same weight, doing the same routine, yes, it will become easier because your body has adapted to be able to do it more efficiently. It's able to manage that same stress more effectively. Now, if you wanted to really change your body and grow your muscles or burn fat, whatever your training goal is, you've got to keep giving your body that stimulus in order for it to change. So weights, they need to be heavy, they need to be challenging. Cardio, your nutrition needs to be on. You know, it's a lifestyle. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's quite hard. That's why you got to be in it for the long run and really want the results so that you're willing to put in the work. Let's go for those 12. That's 12. It's our last one, last exercise for biceps. So let's push, let's go heavier. Let me show you this. It's like a show and tell. These are called fat grips. Been around for a few years now. They are essentially big, heavy, durable rubber grips that you can lock on over barbells or dumbbells, and they force you to use a much bigger grip, which means our forearm and grip and wrist extensor, all of the assisting muscle groups that we may not normally focus on when we're just doing one kind of exercise, they get worked a lot more. So again, you can see I got all these different attachments and add-on and features and grips. I guess over the years, I like what I like. So I find new things. I bring them into sort of my little gym area. I'm not saying that they'll make a huge difference, but when you see a benefit and they make some difference, you start to see the benefit of having them. Okay, let's go right into this. Third working set, we'll see if we got enough for a fourth one. I'm gonna stand up for the last few. I'm gonna do crossbody. Muscle failure. Okay, I think we're done with biceps. The reason I stood up real quick on that one is variation. Instead of keeping it strict and a locked hand position, what I'm doing is bringing my arm around. You can see with the shoulder here, I rotate that, curl up, and I feel this a little bit more on that. You can see there when I pop that bicep, the split between the tricep and this is all bicep here. So, you know, same exercise, just performed in a slightly different way. All the blood is pretty much pulled into the arm area, at least more blood than when I started. So this pump effect is really just blood in our body that's circulating, it's pooling in that particular area because that muscle needs it. It's like fuel in a car. You put your foot down on the accelerator, the engine needs more fuel. Well, I'm putting my foot down on a particular muscle, and my heart is pumping to get blood to that muscle so that it can perform more effectively, given the stress that I'm adding to it. So when you start to think like that, you start to see how the body really works, and you know, adding more weight or reaching muscle failure or adding these variations start to make a lot more sense to the bigger picture. But anyway, the blood is in that area, which means for triceps, I don't really need a warm up. I've been working my arm, my elbow, my joints. Let's jump right into that first exercise for triceps. Easy bar skull crushers, and start to put some emphasis on the tricep. 3 heads for this horseshoe-like muscle. And each of the exercises are gonna kind of work that muscle from a different angle. So, triceps. I'm gonna do a bit of a warm up, you know, not jump right into the heaviest weight. I'm gonna use the easy bar here. I like more of the narrow position. Elbows flared out a little bit. And you'll see, typically a skull crusher is done with arms up and you lower down so the bar is literally over the skull. I don't like that though, so I actually find it more beneficial if you angle the arms back, keep tension in the triceps, and therefore even when your arms are at full lockout, you're not resting the bar on the arms like you are there. Like I can relieve tension of the triceps. Here, nope, they're fully engaged. And of course, if you hit failure on that way, you're not gonna smack your forehead with the bar. Let's get some more weight on there. Remember, think about percentages instead of just overall weight. So what's this? 50 pounds, 30, 80, 85 pounds or so with that bar. I don't want to add too much weight and then immediately fail on that next set. You know I love talking about cars, but it's like if you're on a manual car on a clear road, drag strip or a racetrack, you don't start off in first gear, go through second gear, and then immediately jump up to fifth or sixth gear. You got to go through all the gears. And that's at least how I think about weight training. You got to get up to that heaviest weight pretty quickly, but you don't jump from this up to that. You've at least got to add a set or two in of incremental increases, if not mentally as well. Okay, a little wider grip on this one. Okay, up, angle that weight back. Yeah, nice deep stretch there. When I say squeeze the muscle or flex or contract, what I'm talking about is, imagine this. Have somebody, a friend, training partner, spouse, whoever, grip your arm. Put both hands around your arm and squeeze. Not too hard, but put some pressure down. Now you're going to counteract that pressure. You're going to squeeze back. You know, if someone's squeezing your arm and you've got to flex to try and stop them from overly squeezing, it's that same mind-muscle connection that when I'm doing the exercise and my arms are getting to full lockout, that sort of optimal contraction. I can't squeeze the arm here. I can, but the muscle's lengthened. You really want to squeeze it in its shortened state. It's short here. Look, long, short. So at the top of the movement, you see what I'm doing? I'm flexing, I'm squeezing that muscle with everything I've got. I don't need to hold it for long. When I'm extending the arm, squeeze, and then right back down. And that's what I'm doing every rep. Squeeze, coming back down. Exhale, squeeze. Without that emphasis, are you still getting a benefit? Yeah, I mean, you're moving weight, you're applying stress to the muscle. But that little squeeze, that flex at the top of each and every rep makes a difference. Makes a difference. And you know, over weeks and months and years of training, all you're doing is strengthening that mind-muscle connection. So when you can really squeeze and tense and flex that muscle with everything you've got, I feel like a wrestler here, but you're squeezing that muscle. You're doing everything that you can within that workout. I mean, you're checking all boxes. And if you're doing that, that's all anyone can ask during these workouts. Push yourself, commit, train heavy, and get enough rest, good nutrition to be able to come back and attack that muscle with a little bit more ferocity, a little bit more intensity. Let's get some more weight on the bar. What weight are we on here? Yeah, we might fail on this one. Remember, squeeze and flex. 12, kind of 12. The end of the set there. I mean, we did our 10. Let's move on. Tricep press down. So first time we're using a cable in this workout, and you know, we are isolating the muscle. It's not a free weight movement. You can see I've got plates on, but I also have weight stack here. So I'm using the weights here. So I'm not just doing 2.5 pounds. Pretty heavy here, but I want room to be able to increase the weight. Different handles. I like a kind of a V formation. I'll talk about with biceps how I want my hands angled and even neutral for the hammer curls. Easy bar, I've had an angle one there. If you think about when you press the arm down, I want my wrists to be a little bit kind of externally rotated as opposed to flat, because that puts some of the effort, the stress on the outer region here, and I kind of feel it in my elbow a bit. And if you're the same, you feel pain in the elbow when doing tricep movements, try using an attachment or even with dumbbells or an easy bar where your wrists go out a little bit. And when doing that, we shift the emphasis from sort of being on the elbow here to now really being able to squeeze some of the triceps. So just little variations there. You'll see on this one, I've got both kind of a flat palms down and an angled one. And we'll see how they affect, if at all, the contraction in the muscle. I like that one. I like that V formation. A little bit heavier. Cables I like to use later on in the workout. And I think it just comes down to managing the weight. Free weights first. Lift the heaviest weight, the most stress on the muscle. Then machines allow us to really isolate and focus more on, you know, a very specific type of movement or a very specific type of angle that we're working the muscle from. Cables allow more of a freedom, and because the way the weight is being lifted, you know, that weight is being lifted vertically up, whether I'm here, whether I'm over here, whether I'm doing it like this or overhand, the weight, therefore the transference of stress is really being placed on my muscle in much the same way, in a very smooth way. And it's about the angle of the pull. So anyway, cables more at the end of the workout. I feel you get more of a benefit towards that sort of big picture. So we've increased the weight, form. As long as I'm able to lock my arm out, you know, I'm not too overly concerned about form on this one. I'm gonna be over a little bit, otherwise that weight's pulling me forwards. If I stay upright and do this, I feel much more comfortable being positioned like this. I'm kind of squatted down, my hips are pushed back, I'm leaning forwards a bit, but I'm still upright. I have a much more firmer base. I'm not going to be pulled forwards quite as much as if I'm upright. So really anchor yourself down, like make yourself heavy. I know I'm talking about a lot of different factors and changing this and changing that. Don't try and change too much. I mean, I'm giving a lot of information right there, so I hope I am giving a lot of information within this video. Take what you want from it. Use it a little bit within your workout. See if it makes a difference. See if you feel a benefit from doing something that you may have learned or seen from this video. I'm talking about hand positions and different attachments. Like I said, the ultimate goal is how much weight can I manage? So I tend to stick with the same attachment, the same hand position, and just push the weight up. And then on the next workout, a week from now, you know, I might do a rope or a straight bar, or I might not do a cable press down. I might do an overhead dumbbell extension. So that goes back to what I was saying, the same basic fundamental movements within my workout, just performed in a different way. We're going heavier, yeah, 160. Not a whole lot of weight, but it's, you know, a lot of weight for the triceps. Don't lift until you feel ready. I feel these kind of, you really got to be in the zone. You got to get your mind locked in. You know, you're not talking to your buddy or on your phone in between sets. You got to be like laser focus. Believe that you can do it. Hammer curls, press downs done, dips and kicks. So maybe 3 of those. Do some bodyweight dips. Go immediately into kickbacks first because we're using weight. So I'm gonna do the heaviest exercise first. 10, 12 reps, both arms at the same time. And then I'll kind of finish off that superset with bodyweight dips. So we'll kind of do 3 supersets, kickbacks, straight into dips, rest, and then repeat. Okay. Start off with fairly lightweight. You know, for most of these, I just angle my body. We don't need to always support it. As long as I'm kind of angled a bit like this. Full extension. Try and limit any momentum that I've got. We'll go immediately into our dips. We'll do these facing forwards here. That's doing the job. Yeah, instead of kickbacks and dips, do kickbacks and a push-up or a diamond grip push-up. Think of these as sort of a finisher off exercise. You know, something you can do body weight without necessarily adding any extra weight in, just to take your muscles to failure. And failure being, it can no longer perform at that same rate, same tempo, the same frequency. You've hit a wall. That's muscle failure. Once you've done that, stop, rest, go back. If you can't do any more, it's the end of the workout. We can do a little bit more though. We'll go heavier on here and keep doing body weight on the dips. You know, sometimes I'll do this one arm, put the bench on an incline, kind of really lock in and do a single arm. But towards the end of the workout, I kind of feel like that's wasted. I just want to get the movement. I'm keeping the intensity pushed up by limiting my rest period because there's no additional weight on this one. Nearly there, nearly at the end. I can feel it. Energy's kind of dropped down. Recovery takes longer. Motivation's still there, but it's slowed down. All right, we've got one more set left. Let's dig deep on this. You really got to end the workout on a high. You don't want to walk out the gym kind of feeling like you kind of had a good workout. That final set, the final exercise, the final weight that you're doing, you need to find a way to give it your all. Do a drop set, a strip set, do a rest pause, do something that really pushes you so that you have given it your all. When you walk out that gym and you finish your workout, you know that there was nothing more you could have done at the end of that workout. You feel it. And if you can end every workout like that, you know, you're already a couple of steps ahead of the competition. Here we go, final working set. That's our 12. That's our 12 there. That's it, done. That is workout done. That's what I'm talking about. Do what you need to do to push yourself, finish on a high. Even if it wasn't the best workout you've had, make sure that how you finish the workout is how you want to start that next workout. That was a great workout. Listen, I appreciate everyone watching. Like I said, I've been doing these YouTube videos for, oh man, the first one was like 2006, 2005. I want to put these videos out as I guess as for my younger self. I wanted to learn, I wanted to know what these bodybuilders and what these great physiques that I would see in the gym when I was a teenager. And so I'd ask all these questions, and as I started to learn more and saw my physique change and done the competitions and the magazine and the fitness work, you know, I just want to put it all out there. I want to share what I've learned, what I found useful, so that anyone new or old, starting out or haven't been training for a number of years, you know, could see inside my world. And if any of it was useful, then, you know, that's all I could hope. So, listen, I appreciate it. If you've got questions, comment on my Instagram. As you've seen, I'm very vocal about explaining or sharing stuff. So if you have a question or, you know, a thought about something, drop a comment in this video. I'll try getting back to doing weekly videos, or at least every other week. So there's new content in the gym, bring some conditioning, some weight training, some cardio. And so we're kind of touching all aspects of me getting back to the stage before my 40th, which is soon. So, you know, I've been competing since I was 21, 22. Let's see how all of these years have enabled me to be better or come back bigger and stronger. there we go, that's the workout. I'll put it down in the description of this video. Let me know if you like this video. We'll keep going strong. Thank you for watching. Go put it to work. Stay focused. See you on the next video. Take care. Whew.